days in August. Founder of Rabito Clinic Limited, Professor Edmond Dele, bemoans recent spate of deaths in hospitals due to the no-bed syndrome. Another fine front, police in Chicago clash with protesters after officer fatally shooting a black man. Got details of these stories and many more lined up. Do stay with us. Let's start with our stories now. And the chief of Tama, the late Na Dapema Mohammed Dawouni Al-Hassan, is to be buried today, Sunday, July 15, in line with Islamic tradition. He died at the age of 76 at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where he was receiving treatment after a short illness. Tamale is in a state of mourning following the demise of the illustrious ruler, with no business activities ongoing within the enclave ahead of his burial. The chief's sudden death has shocked many residents who have eulogized him as somebody who was development-oriented. Many are praying that the late chief's successor would follow his remarkable footprints. Now, joining me on the phone line is our Northern Regional Correspondent, Christopher Amwaku, who's been following developments in Tamale. Hello, Christopher.
Hello.
Now, has the chief, that's the late chief, been buried? Yes.
Not yet. As we speak, a lot of people made up of traditional leaders from far and near are in Tamale for the burial. The necessary rites have since been performed by the Gumana, chief of Kapaili, in accordance to tradition. And the death of the late Dakwemana Dasana has been officially announced around 10:40 a.m. So we are told sooner than later his body will be carried for burial around the central market, amid singing and dancing in line with tradition. They will pass around the market to give him his very last respect before taking him to his final resting place.
Now, from what we have, business activities have been put to a halt. Also, some of the residents, they have eulogized him as someone who was development-oriented. Now, what else have people been saying, and what are activities really ongoing there?
Yes, people are really shocked at the demise of the chief, because many are saying that just a couple of days ago they visited him at his palace and he looked strong. He lost the sister, and today happens to be the Adua, and he had promised that the Adua was going to be well organized. Unfortunately, little did he know that he was not going to live to see today. And people are eulogizing him, especially on the his educational fund that he started and giving arms to needy but brilliant students. So a lot of people are just talking about that. Especially one other aspect is also his commitment to serving the people of Tamale, because if you look at him, most of them are saying that when he was alive, he worked with all government appointees in the region. He never despised any of them. He worked with them to ensure that there is total development in the region. And
about the business activities, are they still at a halt?
Yes, you know, the Dakwemna literally means the chief of the markets, and for that matter, markets, anything that has to do with business will have to be put to a halt until the chief is buried.
Any updates on what's next after the burial, finally?
Yes, speaking to the PRO of the palace, Mr. Abbas, he indicated that they will get a successor immediately, because they have 3 gates, and the gate that will succeed the late chief, they are already probably they have their successor. So once the funeral is the burial is over, they will set you know, the new chief will have to come and perform the final funeral rites of the late chief before he will be in-skinned.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that update. We'll bring us more as and when he has them, and may the soul of the late chief rest in peace. You're still watching Midday Live. To another headline story, and scores of fishers at Albert Bosum Sam Fishing Harbour in Sekeni in the Western region have registered their dismay at government's decision to ban fishing for 30 days in August. According to them, the ban will not favour them as they have contracted loans for their operations in August.
Reading a petition at a gathering of fishers at the Albert Bosomtre Sam Fishing Harbour, Secretary to the 2nd D branch of the Ghana Inshore Fisheries Association, Nicholas Akwete, explained they are not against the ban. He said they appreciate government's determination to sustain the fishing industry by introducing the closed season. However, Mr. Akwete noted the timing of the ban is wrong. He insisted that on their fishing calendar, it is in August that they record bumper harvest and have already contracted loans to help them make the most out of the period. He wondered why governments decided to rather place a ban in August, when it is a known fact that it is the month Ghana records bumper fishing harvest.
We like to take this opportunity to address our fuel, that is the marine gas oil, MGO, and the price. As at now, the price of the MGO is 870 Ghana per a gallon, as compared to that of the premise, which is 375 per a gallon. And premise has not been increased for the past 9 years.
Some fishers maintained the ban was not well thought through and called for a broader consultation for a new month to be agreed on. Government in August will close Ghana's marine fishery to all forms of harvest. This is to enable the fish to spawn, thereby safeguarding the depleting fish stock.
This is still Midday Live. To some more stories, in mushroom is a high nutritional vegetable grown in parts of Ghana, but the economic potentials of large-scale production are yet to be fully tapped. The non-availability of ready markets and storage facilities is preventing farmers from going into large-scale production. In this special report, Ibrahim Abubakar explores the opportunities in mushroom farming.
Mushroom is rich in protein, carbohydrates, minerals and vitamins. It is low in fat and an excellent substitute for fish, meat and other high-end protein foods. Farming the vegetable requires low capital and less space. Mushrooms can be produced indoors without necessarily owning a large farmland. Mushroom farmer Samuel Kwame Jesse says the essential raw materials for production are mushroom seeds and treated bags of sawdust. In 3 months, the vegetable is ready for harvest.
After getting the sawdust from the sawmill, we come to add some things. We mix it at a certain percentage. We keep it there for not less than 40 days so that it will compost. So after the compost, you bag it like this. You put the spawns, that is the seed for mushroom. So when you put the seed on it, it will take 40 days. From there, you'll be getting mushrooms.
With increasing public awareness on the benefits of consuming mushroom, the production is opening up income-earning opportunities for young farmers. Some youth at Adiabeba, a suburb of Kumasi, have taken up the venture. Olivia Inim Chinibwa has been in the mushroom business for about 5 years. She is currently training over 50 youth in mushroom production to earn a livelihood. Olivia says the venture is profitable but could be better if the over 60,000 mushroom farmers across the country could access ready market for their harvest.
Major challenges is marketing, because when we produce the mushroom and we did not buy it, then you can't do anything about it. You can use mushroom for biscuits, bread, other pastries, and also mushroom porridge. But now it needs a huge amount of capital.
The farmers complain the perishable nature of mushrooms sometimes discourages them from producing more. Provision of adequate logistics such as dehydrators for drying fresh mushrooms will come as a relief. Secretary to the Mushroom Growers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Emmanuel Dabanka Frimpong, wants government support.
Currently, we are already into that business. We are doing it, and we just need the support of the government to be able to expand and at least help the government to also realize his policies as far as the one district one factory is concerned.
Value addition to mushroom is important in opening up markets. An entrepreneur, Stephen Kwesi Esiedu, has established a mushroom processing factory. He is currently producing powdered mushroom bread and mushroom porridge mixed with millet or rice.
Rice that our Ghanaian market, they don't like the locally grown rice, which is not perfumed. Our people don't like it, but I have turned into something else, which is the mushroom rice. Very healthy, very organic, and the kids and adults, everybody enjoys it.
He has put up structures at Mabang along the Barkesi Road to house the processing factory, but inadequate machinery restricts him from buying more mushroom from the farmers. Encouraging the cultivation of mushrooms on a large scale would offer job opportunities for the youth and help in poverty alleviation.
Interesting story there. Now to some others, and commercial washroom business is gradually becoming one of the lucrative businesses at Ashaman in the Greater Accra region. Whilst patrons talk of its convenience to them, operators are also cashing in big to serve as a source of livelihood. Margaret Udu has the rest of the story.
Ashaiman is one of the busiest cities in the capital, with a population of about 2,000. Residents here are mainly into buying and selling. The bathroom is situated at the center of the busy Ashaiman Old Tulako, providing access for people to have their bath at any time. A place of convenience for residents here is a major challenge, with most resolving to bathing outside their homes. Philip, an operator, has been running this bathroom for close to 2 years. He decided to take advantage to create a business, realizing the lack of bathrooms in homes.
We have so many bathrooms here, and so it depends on the time the patron comes. And with our sales, it keeps on changing. We sometimes get 120 cedis daily.
What motivated me to go into this business was I was a caretaker for someone. I was able to gather a little money, about 6,000, to start this business. The shower and the urinal will even give you 70 to 80 cedi maybe in a day. That means you are watching close to 80 people who drawn to this place. It's a nice venture.
At 5 Friday morning, when the business team got to the area, residents had already queued, ready to take turns to bath.
We don't have bathroom at home. That is why we are always here every morning to bath.
Sometimes waiting in the queue for long makes me late for school.
One would need between 1 cedi and 1 cedi 50 pesos to have a good time using the bathroom. Some patrons were however worried about the unsanitary conditions of the place.
The bathhouse is so clean.
The washroom is clean, and we the patrons always have to pay 80 Ghana pesos before we can use it.
Sometimes we are unable to bath because of the insanitary condition of this place.
The business obviously is a good one, serving the community.
Let's look at some other stories. We focus on the Ashanti region, and the Jachi Training Center for the disabled in the Ashanti region has been left with no support for decades, despite it having the potential to produce commercially competitive vocational products. To keep the center running, managers have been compelled to levy inmates, thus depriving some students the opportunity to stay in school. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
This center was built by a Norwegian philanthropist in 1984 to train persons with disability in craft and vocations such as carpentry, footwear production, tailoring and kente weaving. The center is endowed with serene natural environment for learning. The facilities here are underutilized due to years of government neglect and the inability of the center to sell its products to generate funds internally. The kente weaving section is currently not functioning. There is, however, a vibrant carpentry section producing home and office furniture. The tie and dye section is especially vibrant. The tailoring section trains inmates to sew clothing, school uniforms, curtains, and other knitted apparel. The principal of the center, Fatau Fuseni, is concerned the center has been neglected for far too long. This has forced some deprived students to stop schooling. He says the government should consider extending the free education policy to cover them.
Let's still stay in the Ashanti region, where scores of residents at Ashtown, a suburb of Kumasi, have illegally connected their waste matter to some major drains in the area. The Environmental Health Department of the Metropolitan Assembly has vowed to take legal action against culprits. Another report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Liquid waste management is one of the major challenges Ghana faces. This is due to inadequate fecal treatment plants. Majority of the country's liquid waste ends up in the sea, water bodies and other unapproved places. Some residents at Ashtown in Kumasi are engaged in the illegal dislodgement of their effluent into drains and streams within the area. Most houses here have connected their septic tanks to the main gutters leading to the major drains and a stream. Environmental health officers at the Manshia Sub-Metro described the situation as worrying. During an inspection, Sub-Metro Director Eric J.C. said legal action will be taken against those found culpable.
We are there for the community, so the community should be there for us also. These situations are with you. Some of you intentionally have done it. Some of you were not aware, you came to meet it. But please, let us all come together and solve these menace. Let's report to the authorities. Let's get rid of these things. Let's get our streams back. And Kumasi will be clean and green once again.
He appealed to the public to desist from any act that poses health and environmental risks.
To one of our headline stories, and chairman of the Convention People's Party and founder of Rapito Clinic Limited, Professor Edmond Dele, has bemoaned the recent spate of deaths in hospitals due to the no-bed syndrome. Professor Edmond Dele believes it is insulting for Ghana to be recording such developments and thinks the availability of infrastructure alone cannot solve the issue.
Issues regarding the lapses in Ghana's health system has taken center stage in the media in recent times. The no bed and no ambulances syndrome to facilitate proper health care has led to many deaths in health institutions. Speaking at a health screening exercise organized by Rapito Clinic in collaboration with M-Pharma and Your Health Matters Ghana, Professor Dele said he believes every Ghanaian needs a behavioral change towards health issues. He said as a socialist, he believes Ghanaians owe themselves healthy living and not the government.
It is shameful, it's disgraceful to know that Ghana, after independence, we can't even take care of our people. People are sick and go to the hospitals and die. No beds. The so-called no bed syndrome is very shocking. And I'm calling upon all Ghanaians. You see, we think that health should be left in the hands of the government alone. Health starts with the individual.
Research lead for M-Pharma, who were at the screening to give patients the opportunity to afford drugs on a payment plan, lamented on how people are dying of cancer-related diseases due to lack of money to buy drugs on time.
We realize in Ghana the mortality rate for cancer is very high. People are dying from breast cancer, prostate cancer, cervical cancer, only because they can't afford treatment. So we figured if we can find a way for patients to afford their treatment, then the mortality rates should drop.
The founder of Your Health Matters Ghana touched on the challenges confronting health delivery in the country.
It's not all about building structures. We have canopies, foldable ones, we have screens around them. We can do something in our own small way.
And the Chief of Army Staff, Major General William Azure Ayamdo, has stressed on the need to move away from the family replacement system of blood donation and scale up interventions to attain the 100% voluntary blood donation targets. He was speaking at the commissioning of a new blood bank at the 37 Military Hospital here in Accra.
Ghana has still not been able to achieve the 100% voluntary blood donation status as required by the World Health Organization, despite the various interventions over the years to achieve the target. As part of efforts to improve access to safe and adequate blood supplies for effective transfusion for optimal healthcare delivery, 37 Military Hospital has commissioned a new blood bank. The facility, which has the capacity to process at least 50 units of blood daily, replaces the old blood bank, which had limitations with space.
The processes involved in giving and taking blood is complicated, and thus requires the best of facilities, which you have put up here. A facility that will guarantee laboratory confirmatory checks and strict observation of other safety measures.
Commander of the hospital, Brigadier General M.A. Yabue Japon, said the role of blood and blood-related products in healthcare delivery cannot be overemphasized.
The military hospital, in its bid to provide the best of care for our clients, patients, continues to put together infrastructural and service improvement policies.
Officer in charge of the pathology division entreated other medical laboratories to work at attaining ISO accreditation certification to achieve the highest level of accuracy and reliability.
The way we were able to get there, we will now mentor the other public sector laboratories. We show them how we were able to do it. Commitment, that is all. So we will show them the way.
The high electricity cost coupled with hostel fee for students on practicals are threatening the future of ophthalmic nursing school at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. Now, the principal of the only specialist eye care nursing training school in Ghana, Stella Entribuesiako, told Peter Kwao Adato that quality and standard ophthalmic nurses could be compromised if steps are not taken to arrest the situation.
The Ophthalmic Nursing School is located on the premises of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. It was established in 1985 in response to the need for eye specialist nursing training. However, the only specialist eye care nursing training school in Ghana is now faced with a myriad of challenges. The school, which depends solely on tuition fees as their only source of finance, is faced with huge financial obligations. First is the cost of electricity. The school uses the top floor of a two-story block with 2 air conditioners, about 15 fans, a projection unit, and a refrigerator. The school spends over 3,333 cedis monthly on prepaid electricity.
We came to this new block in January. We bought it and in no time it was finished. We had to buy again, and from January up to June, we bought 20,000 Ghana cedis because of the prepaid. And when it gets finished, you are not able to work. We are not able to use our slate lamps to teach the students.
Additionally, the school has no transport for its outreach and practical attachment programs. A minibus procured by government in 2003 has been out of use close to 5 years. School authorities now rely on commercial vehicles to transport students to Kumfanoche Teaching Hospital in Kumasi and other hospitals in Sunyai, Breman Isikuma, Boko, Pando, Ridge and Kolebu for compulsory practical learning attachment. Again, the school is compelled to rent hostel facilities in these communities for students undertaking practicals at exorbitant cost, all from the meager school fees paid by the students.
Our course is such that we do a lot of practicals. Without sight, you can't do anything. So we train our students very, very well so that they don't damage anybody's sight. We take them outside. Wherever we go, we pay accommodation. It is very worrying.
Stella Nchibo appealed to government and philanthropists to come to their aid to save the future of eye care in the country. She also wants the school to be given a post-paid metering system in order to reduce their financial burdens.
The Food and Drug Board, that's the authority, says there is a malaria kit on the Ghanaian markets that is expired. According to the media statement dated July 13, the FDA says upon the complaint and investigation, they found that product information on the said malaria kit have been tampered with. Now, the malaria kit in question is the SD Bio line malaria test kit. The FDA says though the kit is registered by the authority, it found out that a lot number, manufacturing dates, expiry dates, and the code have been tampered with. The FDA says in view of the experiences with resistance of malaria parasites to treatments, there is a policy to test all malaria cases, a situation that could be hampered by the presence of fake or expired testing kits. The FDA is therefore warning the general public to take note of the said kits, SD Bio line of malaria test kits, and in no doubt call the authorities hotlines, that's 0299-802932 or 0299-802933 or social media page or text to the short code 4015. You're still watching Midday Live. We have more shortly. Do stay. Thanks for staying. You're watching Midday Live with me, Wendy Lai. Let's look at some mission stories. And remember, mission is supported by Star Ghana with funding from UKAID, Danida, and the European Union. Pupils of Go Atanda Basic School in the Bongo district of the Upper East region will very soon have water after TV3's reports on the drudgery pupils go through in search of water. A non-governmental organization, Sadak Train, is installing a mechanized borehole for the school. Tanko Rabiu's report.
Water is a prized commodity for peoples of Go Atanda. The school is located on a dry land. In the month of April, May and June, water is difficult to come by. Many trek journeys to get it. The clouds can gather but fail to rain. Peoples of Go Atanda are most affected. Many come to school without water.
Every kid uses bottles, and at times when the water in the bottle finish, where do they go again? There is a borehole down far away from the school here. So what they do is, even if you are in class, you see most of the kids at the borehole there, they will not come. So we have to trace them with a motorbike or bicycle, bring them back to the class.
And so lessons are missed. Teachers are hampered in getting the kids back to school. The result is a setback for the community in efforts at educating children. Though some efforts had been made to improve water supply, a dam dug gets dried up because it is shallow.
The school children are suffering. Unless they came here also dry, But anywhere they dump borehole day, they'll go and stand on line. If you want to beg that, let the children fetch and go, they'll say that I'm going to cook for my children. And my children also wanted to go to school. So also going to fetch the water, go and bath for the children. So those are there, they will stand until any time they will get the water. Maybe before to get the water, that time the school has closed.
TV3's report saw a non-governmental organization, Sadaka Train, come to the aid of pupils. For 6 hours, they drilled, hoping to get water. In no time, the drilling team hit water. The system will be mechanized with the extension of electricity to the school. The school, however, needs classrooms in order to continue providing quality education for pupils. The District Assembly and the Education Directorate are working hard at raising resources to put up a classroom for the Go Atanda Basic School.
Television indeed gets results. We'll bring you some more updates on that story. But we're still looking at mission stories, and the Dafiamabuse Isa district is empowering women by creating wealth for them through the growing of cashew. Women who otherwise would have been without any source of income now earn about 10 cedis a day for nursing cashew seedlings. Bryce Nana Anfo's report.
The excitement is great. The reason is that some few years ago, feeding themselves and their families was a headache. This is no more, and the government planting for export and rural development, over 25 women here have some income.
When we started this project with the fencing, we employ a lot of people, but the project employed 25 permanent people. The assembly to employ temporal 20 people to help with the fencing and the shed. So after that, we started the potting. The project gave each worker 10 cedi a day. So we are marking them every 12 days. We pay them.
They are not only earning income, they will become grafters and grow seedlings for other farmers after this project.
And they are learning how to do nursing. After this, they can do their private nurses for their own benefits. So this is something they are learning. It's a new thing, it's a new technology. From this, we are going to train 10 of them how to do grafting so that they will be the grafters.
The project is located near a dam to ensure regular and continuous water supply. This project is expected to give hundreds of residents here in the Dafiamabuse Isa district employment. Particularly, women here will benefit from it. The nursing or the location is dependent on the water. The dam is here and the seedling plants are on the right. This is expected to give the women a lot of employment and help them to sustain their families. Over 51,000 seedlings are being grown here. Grafted fruit yield as many as 5 times compared to ordinary fruit. Over 510 hectares or 1,200 acres of farmland will be covered by 51,000 seedlings. Women and young girls from the district have migrated down south in search of greener pastures. The project is expected to reduce the drift.
The tendency for the people from the north to drift down south to work under plantation crops is there. But now, they went down to work under cocoa, plantations, because the climate here is not conducive for cocoa. But here is the case, we have cashew, which can also do well in the north. So why the need going down south to work under cocoa if you also have your cocoa in the form of cashew?
And the women are happy. They recount days when feeding their families was difficult.
She is very grateful to the government for bringing such an initiative. She said they have been hearing of cashew. It is very good for farmers. That is very beneficial. but they were wondering where to get the seedling to transplant. Now that the government have bring it to their doorstep, they will say thank you to the government, because they know in future their children will not suffer.
The assembly is upbeat. This is the project to reduce poverty.
We engaged some youth to do a district-wide registration of our farmers. And it wasn't only cashew alone, but we were registering farmers who cultivate anything, whatever food they want to cultivate. And then there was a questionnaire we developed for them, and this included how many farmers want to cultivate cashew. But before that, we have already done the advocacy. We have already done the education, and it's so overwhelming. And so what you saw there will not be able to meet the demands. But inshallah, next year, we're going to scale up our nurseries. We're going to have nurseries at almost all the big towns of the district.
Over 8,000 farmers have been registered by the district to be part of the project, and almost all towns of the district would have seedlings being cultivated to be distributed to farmers.
Let's move away from the mission stories. And Minister for Business Development, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, has expressed worry over the teeming number of university graduates who fail to embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship. Speaking at the launch of a school entrepreneurship initiative held at the Chimota Senior High School, he hinted on efforts being made by government to make entrepreneurship look more attractive. Here's a report by Felix Asante.
Innovation and entrepreneurship education, a bridge to realizing the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, was the theme on which the launch was built on. The School Entrepreneurship Initiative, a novelty from the Ministry of Business Development, aims at equipping students with the right entrepreneurial skills and experience necessary to man the job market right after their senior high school and tertiary education. The Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, urged students to identify business opportunities where others may not. He underscored the importance of reinventing the educational curricula to prepare students for the tough business-oriented world.
Entrepreneurs don't see problems, they see opportunities. So when people are lamenting and say, why is it that we don't have this in Ghana? Look at yourself as the person that may find a solution to that problem. So when people say problems, you shout opportunity.
The Minister for Business Development, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, stressed on government's commitment to raising funds for business startups. He gave a program outline for the initiative.
Over the next 6 months, we are going to ensure that we launch this initiative in all the 10 regions of Ghana, plus Tema, being an industrial hub. What we intend to do that every 2 weeks, the clubs would sit together and then we teach them business concepts. We would give you a business plan competition. And then 2 reps from each of the schools around the country would come to Accra to compete. Those who win will be sent to Silicon Valley in the USA or be sent to Tech City in London.
Some students shared their views on the program.
So yes, attaining this from the secondary level is the best choice. Because over here we have the idea. This is where we go crazy with all our ideas. But as you start to grow, a lot of worries come in, and then you just throw away all your ideas and all that. So if the government is actually giving us the opportunity to use make all our ideas into realities, it will help the development of the country.
It's a good initiative, and then it will give business students the opportunity to showcase their talent and become great entrepreneurs.
This is Midday Live. We have sports next. Do stay. Entertainment, the remains of High Life legend Charles Kofi Amakwando Man, popularly called CK Man, has been laid to a peaceful rest at the Takoradi Cemetery in the Western region. Thousands, including his contemporary musicians, young musicians, politicians, and other well-wishers, joined the family of CK Man to mourn him and pay their last respect.
CK Man was laid in state on Friday at his residence at Aneji Estate, then to the Takoradi Jubilee grounds where a concert was held in his honor by Pat Thomas, Jidible Ambule and other musicians. a memorial service was held for him at Christ the King Catholic Church and later to the Takoradi Cemetery for burial. At his burial reception, thousands, including musicians, ministers of state, both past and present, and other well-wishers converged at the Takoradi Sports Club to pay their last respect. CK Man had been sick for close to 3 years. He was called to eternal glory on March 20, 2018. He had 11 children. Pat Thomas and other musicians paid their last respect to him with music. Pat Thomas and Ben Bracco had this to say about the late CK Man.
It would have been wonderful if he's around, but unfortunately, the death has taken the toll. But all the same, we thank God, because God says to everything that happens, we have to give thanks to God.
It's a big loss. It's a great icon for high life music, and it's very sad loss, but that's the nature of man. So I come to pay my last respects to him.
May his soul rest in peace. And that's how we wrap up Midday Live for today. My name is Wendy Lai. Do have a lovely afternoon and thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.